So today we're going to answer the question, can you brew ketchup? Can you? Hey guys, hope you're well. So we're going to be brewing up some ketchup. Now, I've been wanting to do this for ages, I just never got around to it. Because, well, tomato ketchup is a lot like tomato wine, I presume. I guess we're going to find out. It has already been condensed, so it should have a good tomatoey flavour. It's already been sieved, so we don't have to worry about bits as much. It has vinegar in here for acidity, and it also has the spices. Now, I am going to be making a couple of additions, because, well, I do have 3 of these bad boys, which is pretty cool. It already contains some sugar, 23 grams per 100 grams, and I bought 3 of them, so that's roughly, because I'm making a 5-litre batch, 75-ish grams, so that is, what, on a hydrometer, 1.02826, something like that. Anyway, so I am going to be making some additions, because, well, let's give this a go and try and make it good. So I'm going to be adding 500 grams of sugar to bump it up to around the 7% mark. I don't want it too crazy. And I'm also going to be adding in 250 grams of sultanas. Now, this is going to give it, in theory, extra body and make it more wine-like, if this is going to be like a wine at all. So, I've talked enough. Let's do this. So, we have what we need. Nothing needs to be sterile currently because, well, we're going to be using heat. Now, this is just to make sure there is no preservatives in the ketchup. It doesn't say there is, but at the same time, I don't trust it. So, let us begin. So I've got my pan and a stirring spoon. I'm just going to open up my ketchup and dump it all in. It's one of those, smells like ketchup. Now this is the cheap ketchup, so it should, in theory, be good. Who knows? Ketchup has been added in. Now I'm going to instantly add in my sugar. Since we're bringing this up to the boil, it's going to save a lot of time, and I'm also going to add in my half a bag or 250 grams of sultanas. Don't throw them everywhere. I normally rip open the bag and chuck them everywhere. So in they go. A rough guesstimate. So I'm just going to grab some water and we're going to begin. So I'm using boiling water just to speed up the process, and I've added in all the ingredients. This is because, well, it's just easier. We can sterilize the sultanas because, well, they're laid out and dried. So now, all I've got to do is get the excess ketchup out of here. So I've just added in a little bit of water. There we go. So I'm going to let this come up to the boil. So it's taken a little while to come up to the boil, about 10 minutes, give or take. But it's now just at the boil. So I'm going to boil it for 5 minutes just to make sure everything is sterile and if there are any preservatives in the ketchup. Because, well, they don't have to label sulfites, if it's under 20 parts per million. Shouldn't be enough to get in the wine, but just to make sure. So I'm going to go and sterilize my equipment while I'm waiting for this to just finish up. So I'm going to go do that and drink more coffee. Right, my demijohn has been sterilized and rinsed. It's now all ready to go, as well as the rest of my equipment. So this is now finished. It actually smells really good. So I can turn it off now. And just for ease, because, well, yeast nutrient doesn't necessarily dissolve that easily in cold solutions. So I'm going to add in a cheeky teaspoon to my hob. A little bit more since I dropped the load. Let's mix that in. And now I'm going to put it in a cold water bath, which basically just means I'm putting it in my sink filled with cold water to cool it down quickly. So here it goes. And now This should take about 30 minutes cool down so we can actually put it in the demijohn. So I am going to chill out for 30 minutes. Pretty cool. So it has cooled down. It's taken about 30 minutes. It's now not necessarily cold, but cool to the touch. But we are going to be adding some cold water to it, so it all evens itself out. So I've gone ahead, sterilized all my worktop and everything. Even though it's not going to come in contact, I can put down my equipment and not have to worry about it. So I've got my 5-litre water container, which has been sterilized and rinsed, and it smells fresh but not bleachy, because you don't want it to smell of bleach. So let us begin. We don't need to do any straining because, well, the tomato ketchup is it's already been sieved. So I can take this out now. And you get to see the first look of how it is. Look at that. It looks, even though we added in some water, the ketchup is a little thick, as you can see. So it is looking rather red. That's just how it is. So now we're going to top it up with some cold water. I'm using water from my kettle because my kettle has been, well, boiled, so it's definitely sterilized. Just rinse out the excess tomato. And we'll pour it in. There we go, I don't need it now. No, just add in some water. There we go, I'm going to stop it about there because I am expecting this lovely colour to kind of change. That's the theory. So I'm going to be adding in amylase. This is because there is cornstarch in here. So I don't want it to be too thick, so in goes a teaspoon of amylase. That's half a teaspoon. There's the other half. And also some pectolase, because, well, tomatoes are quite high in pectin. That's why it makes such a good thick sauce. So in goes my pectolase. Stick the lids on now. Now it's time to give it a damn good shake. Then we'll get to test it with a hydrometer. So my hydrometer is in and has settled out, and I instantly noticed that I made a mathematical error. I was thinking it would be somewhere around the 7-8% mark. Not true. If you think about it, 75 grams plus 100 grams is 175 grams per litre. I don't know how I messed up my maths, but I did. It happens. Even to the best of us, not enough coffee. So this is actually reading 12% on the hydrometer. So that is 1.0. Where's it gone? 1.074 on the hydrometer. How does this taste? Tastes pretty nice, actually. Like a sweet tomato soup. But that's okay because the yeast I'm using can handle it. Just made a mistake. Whoops. So I'm using my GV6 Santanine yeast. I'm using it because it's getting colder and I don't have to use a heat mat with it. It can ferment down in single figures. So just sprinkle a little bit on the top like so. Put my cap on, give it a little twist just to let it bite, and we're done. So we have created, hopefully, what should be something rather nice. Either way, I'm going to try it and we will find out. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out some of the other ones, and, well, subscribe if you feel like it. Carry on homebrewing, guys. See you later. So I just want to take a second to thank my patrons. They're helping me grow the channel, upgrade my equipment, all of that fantastic stuff. And as a thank you to them and for future patrons, I also do 4 Patreon-only videos per month. So it's pretty handy if you want a little bit extra. So there's some other links to videos down below, and of course the Patreon and subscribe button. Don't forget to check those out. See ya.